Wow, that was pretty dramatic at the end with the fire. Hi, everybody. I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks lunchtime streaming show where we watch old 16mm films. And that was from a Castle film. Castle Films, of course, would either shoot, would license footage, and edit it for home use. And so that was beautiful Venice. And do we think that that was, I didn't get the year on it, but do we think that that was pre-World War? I think it was pre-World War II. So, yeah, really fascinating. I mentioned we watch old stuff. I have a collection of over 36,000 16mm films. Almost all of them are educational, but most of you know that. But behind me, I have a film scanner. So let's watch something that I just pulled from the stack and I want to show you. And that's not the right title. Yesterday we watched Cheese, A Matter of Taste. And this is, what's this called? A Community Keeps Healthy. Enjoy.
What do you need to be healthy? Exercise and fresh air? The right kinds of nourishing food? Pure water? Plenty of soap? You need all these things. But in a community, none of us keeps healthy alone. We live close together and share many things. To see that the things we share are pure and clean, we depend on the community in which we live. Milk is a common food. How do we know it comes from healthy cows? That it is pure and safe to drink? We know it is pure because inspectors hired by our community health department visit all the dairies. They check the milking machines, examine the cows, and make certain everything is kept clean. They see that the milk is put into clean cartons or bottles. And every day, some of the milk is tested. In the health department laboratory, workers test it to make sure that it is rich enough to be nourishing and that it is clean and free from harmful germs. The people in our community health department will permit only good, pure milk to be sold. Protection of milk supplies is just one way that the community we live in guards the health of each of us. Other food we eat must also be inspected. The vegetables and fruits we buy have been brought from farms to the big wholesale produce market in our community. Here, food inspectors from the community health department examine the food. They make sure it is fresh and good to eat before it goes to the neighborhood grocery store. Foods that are canned or packaged are often inspected outside our community. Sometimes you can see on the can or package a notice that the food inside was packed under government inspection. But whether the notice appears on the label or not, we know that many inspectors cooperate to protect our food supply. We, too, cooperate by keeping places where we eat clean and healthful. All of us belong to the community, so we have to help guard each other's health. Leftover food will attract flies and other harmful pests. By keeping the lunch area at school clean and tidy, we help each other stay healthy. The water supply is certainly something we all share. People who work for our community water department carefully protect the water we all use. They add chemicals to the water to purify it. They store it in giant tanks. Air and sunlight improve its taste. And several times each day, the water is tested by people in the water department laboratory to be sure it contains nothing harmful. Special instruments help the people in the water department control the flow of water through the city pipes so we can get a clean, pure drink at home, and at school. Because we share the fountain, it is made so we don't have to touch it with our mouths. Pure food and water. To stay healthy, we also need pure air to breathe. In some cities, so much smoke and other impurities are released into the air by factories, by trucks and automobiles and home furnaces, that the wind can't carry them all away. We call these impurities air pollution. This worker helps protect us against the dirty air produced by automobiles. Using special machines, the laboratory worker can make the car's engine work just as if it were being driven along the streets. The exhaust gases are collected. Measuring them will help us find ways to cut down on the air pollution produced by cars and trucks. Other inspectors visit factories to be sure they are not putting harmful substances into the air. There are other things we share in our community. Many buildings, the streets and neighborhoods. City workers clean the streets. We too have a part to play. Flies, rats, and other animal pests come around to eat waste foods. We keep them away by always covering trash or garbage cans. Piles of old lumber or rubbish can provide homes for pests like rats. And if they find a home in one yard, they may also visit the house next door. If each of us keeps his yard neat and orderly, there will be no homes for pests in our neighborhood. The trash and garbage are carried away by men who work for our community. Yet in spite of all we do, and all our community does, to keep us healthy, we do sometimes get sick. Colds are catching. Especially when we have a cold, we should cover our coughs and sneezes to protect others. And we don't leave our used paper handkerchiefs lying around where they might give others our colds. We put them in the trash where they belong. Washing our hands after we use the toilet and before meals is another important way we help keep diseases from spreading. Many serious diseases can be prevented by immunization. Swallowing a few drops of vaccine can protect us against some diseases. But to guard against other serious diseases, we need to get shots. School and community health departments often provide shots for people who haven't received them. If everybody gets the shots, these diseases may be kept out of our community. Dogs in the community need shots too, particularly against the serious disease called rabies. An animal doctor, a veterinarian, will give your dog his rabies shot. If a dog gets rabies and bites a person, the person gets rabies too. That's one good reason never to play with a strange animal. Many people employed by our community work to keep us healthy. They protect our milk and food and water and even the air we breathe. We have to help too, by not touching the fountain with our mouths when we drink, by covering our coughs and sneezes, by cleaning up waste and trash to prevent flies and other pests from finding food or shelter. Community health depends on all of us who live together in our community.
Sandwich. Sorry. All right. Sorry. Ended a little bit sooner than I thought. Love films like that talk about public health. I'm not going to say anything, but do you feel like our public health, everything that's outlined in that film, is still valid today? That's all I'm going to say. I just work here.
Here we are, Mr. Whipple. Your files. Now let's examine the record for your last month's service.
Look, I'm not going to pay for something I didn't use. I continued my service 1 month while I was away. Now, why didn't you do it?
Well, let's try to find out why. Can you recall when you notified us?
I don't remember exactly. It must have been sometime during the last week of July, just before I went away on vacation.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Whipple. I can find no record of your notification.
Well, that's not my fault. Look, just because you didn't make a record, don't penalize me. That's your headache, not mine.
Can you remember whom you saw when you came in here?
I didn't come in. I did it over the phone.
Well, I don't find any record of it. Are you sure you called us?
Yes, I'm sure I called. Now, look, you people goofed. You failed to make a record of it, and now you're trying to weasel out of it. Well, I'm not going to let you get away with it.
Why do I get all the characters off? But remember, the customer's always right. Mr. Whipple, may I point out to you how our service department operates? A customer calls up to discuss his service. He's connected to a service representative. Now, the service representative makes a notation of the customer's call on this pad in quadruplicate. One copy goes into a master file. The second goes to the department concerned, in your case, the field service. A third goes into the customer's file, and a fourth copy remains in the service representative's file. I've checked through all of those files and find absolutely no record of your order having been received. The order might have been misplaced in one file, but it couldn't have been lost from all four. Now, do you see the logic, sir, for assuming that somehow you forgot to call us about disconnecting your service?
I don't see the logic in anything. All I see is that here is a big organization trying to push a little person around. Now, listen, I don't have time to stand here and argue with you. I've got to get going. I'm in a hurry. I have to be going. I have to be going. I'm in a hurry. I've got to get going. I've got to get going. I'm in a hurry. I've got to get going.
I promised to get a book from my wife, but I'm not sure where it's located.
It's very simple. Go to the card catalogs and look up the book under author or title. Then fill out the request slip and take it to the main counter. I'll be glad to help you if you have any trouble.
Well, that's the trouble. I don't know, or the title.
Well, if you don't know what you're looking for, there's very little we can do for you. Do you know the subject matter of the book?
It's about a new method of killing weeds. My wife thinks the government put it out, but she's not sure.
You call your wife and get exact information?
She's not home now, and I haven't time to make a trip. I'm late for work already. Look, isn't it time to try to help people to figure these things out?
Yes, if you would only be precise. After all, we are librarians, not mind readers.
It's a new book. I don't see any reason.
The research librarian will be back in 15 minutes. If you care to wait, perhaps she can give you the intensive assistance you require.
Boy, did she make me feel stupid. But stupid or not, she's supposed to help people. All she's interested in is those books.
I'm sorry, Mr. Shepard, but we simply can't approve your loan application.
But, Mr. Hicks, I have to have that money. We can really improve the whole appearance of the house. You people hold the mortgage on it. Aren't you interested in my increasing the value of the property?
Oh, of course. But we're also involved in carrying your automobile loan. Frankly, Mr. Shepard, on your salary and with your commitments, we couldn't risk another loan. Extremely poor banking policy.
I've been regular in my mortgage and car payments.
We're aware of that. We appreciate it very much. I'm sorry, but I have an extremely important lunch engagement, so if you'll excuse me.
I gave up my lunch hour to discuss this loan with you. It's important to me and my wife.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I wish I could offer you something more than my regrets.
I've been a customer of this bank for 4 years. You must consider that.
We do. Very aware of it. But we also have our rules. Thanks for coming in. Stop in again anytime.
Rules. Sure, you've got rules. Everybody has. But why hit a guy over the head with them? Can't you try to help? I feel like pulling my account out and going to the bank across the street.
Mr. Bueller? Shepard? Well, you're on pretty early this month, Mr. Shepard. Any particular reason?
This, the inventory control.
I don't understand. I checked this out myself last week. It's complete to the last decimal.
It may be complete, but it's inaccurate.
What? That's impossible.
Tell that to the inventory clerk in our warehouse. He thought he was in pretty good shape with his supply of 132s. Then he checked and found there's a big discrepancy between this printout and his master file.
Did he check all of his records?
He spent the whole morning on it. Then he hit the ceiling and spent another half hour beefing about it.
Well, I'm sorry it happened. But you see, we've got a new man on the machine, and he just isn't...
These will have to be rechecked also. I can't risk any of your errors on the accounts receivable printouts either.
When do you need them?
Tomorrow noon.
It can't be done.
Why not?
We're swamped. Schedule's solid on the machines for the next 2 days. We won't be able to get back to your work until day after tomorrow.
We can't wait. We have to start work on our billings tomorrow afternoon. You'll hold us up and really run up our overtime.
I'm sorry, Mr. Shepard. I just work here. I don't make company policy. You'll have to wait your turn like everybody else.
That'll throw our whole office schedule out of whack.
We might like to, Mr. Shepard, but we can make exceptions. If we did, we couldn't meet our promised schedules. Sorry. Very sorry. Yes?
Their schedules. What about my schedules? Can't anyone see things from my point of view? Everybody's just a number these days. Impersonal. Can't we have all these new mechanical brains and still have some feeling and consideration for the other fellow and his problems?
I'm in a hurry. I've got to get going.
I can appreciate that, but we have no proof of your calling in. And how can I change the rules?
We're getting nowhere. Maybe I better see someone who has a little more authority.
Authority? If I had the authority, I'd change the rules. But I've got a job to do. Sure, I know I must listen, be polite, interested. But the question is, how can I do my job, stick to the company rules, and at the same time make him happy? Well, what could the librarian have done? What if her attitude were different? What if everyone made a little extra effort to make their job worthwhile?
Miss, I'm in a hurry. I've got to get going.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
I promised to get a book for my wife, but I don't know where to find it.
Do you know the author of the title?
No. You see, my lawn's been invaded by crabgrass, and Mrs. Hudson, who lives down the street, has a perfect lawn and told my wife she got a book from the library that told about some new method of killing weeds. Can you help me?
We can't let the library be defeated by crabgrass. If the book is in the library, we'll find it. Let's try garden. No, there's nothing there. How about horticulture?
How about just plain old-fashioned weeds?
Oh, it's possible. Never let it be said we left any card unturned. Now, it might well be a pamphlet rather than a book. Let's try government. U.S. Department of Agriculture. Better lawns. Good. U.S. Department of Agriculture, catalog number AL77514. Ah, here.
Thanks a lot. I didn't mean to put you to so much trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all. It's my job. Besides, it was a challenge. If we librarians didn't have puzzlers like this, our minds would get as dusty as those old magazines in the basement.
My wife will certainly appreciate this, too.
Well, let me know how she makes out. I have some crabgrass sneaking into my lawn, too.
Maybe. But I can say this for certain. There's none in your library.
What a difference. All she was doing was her job, but she enjoyed it and made it a challenge, not a chore. What a difference it would make if everyone made a little extra effort to make their job worthwhile.
You see, Mr. Hicks, my wife and I figured that if we added the extra room and bath, we could get some additional income from it. We're pretty close to the college, and there are always students looking for a place to live.
It's a good idea, but I'm afraid we'll have to refuse your request. Hello? Oh, yeah, Larry. No, I'm tied up. Hey, why don't you go ahead to the restaurant with the others and I'll catch up to you there.
I'm sorry if I'm holding up your lunch.
Forget it. Lunch can wait. Right now, let's discuss why, under sound banking policy, I have to refuse your application. We're carrying the mortgage on your house and the loan on your car, right?
Well, I don't have any extra collateral to put up, but I do have a good job.
You've got an excellent reputation, and we've had good relations with you here at the bank. You're a good and appreciated customer. We want to keep you happy.
But if you don't give me this loan...
By the nature of its business, banks demand regular repayment of loans. And with your commitments to us on the house and on your car, you might run into difficulties. But according to your financial statement, you've paid in quite an amount on your life insurance policy. I feel sure that the life insurance people will grant you a long-term loan on your policy.
But how much?
Up to 95% of its cash value.
That much? Will there be a lot of red tape?
I doubt it. I know Mr. Streeter over there. Why don't I call him and ask him?
Oh, sure, Mr. Hicks. That would be great. Coming from my banker, it would mean a lot.
I'll call him after lunch and then I'll phone you.
You think he'll approve?
I can almost say you can bank on it.
Well, I'd really appreciate that.
After you get the car paid off, I'd suggest you work out a repayment schedule on the insurance policy. I'll help you work one out if you like.
You've got a customer there.
All right.
And thanks a lot.
Can you beat that? Me thanking him, and after he turned me down. That's it. He turned the loan down. Not me.
Well, these printouts just don't match the master file at the warehouse.
That's odd. Are you sure it's not an error by somebody in your inventory control?
They spot check their supplies in every single bin. It matches their files, but not these printouts. We're busy reordering like mad. You'll just have to run the tapes through the machine again. And do the same thing with the accounts receivable figure in case they have mistakes.
All right. We'll get to work on them just as soon as we can.
When'll that be?
End of the week.
Come on now, we can't wait that long for those figures. We have to have them by tomorrow noon. We've got to start working our monthly bills then.
We can't do it. Our machines are booked up for the next 2 days.
We can't have our billing clerks just sitting around for 2 days doing nothing. You have an obligation to us, a big one.
I recognize that. Let's see. Could you possibly wait a day or two on your inventory control checks? All right. Then let's try to squeeze your accounts receivable work in tomorrow morning. Now we can have part of it done by noon and the rest by late afternoon. That do the trick?
With a little juggling, I think we can do it. Thanks a lot.
I'll have a messenger run over those new tapes just as soon as they're ready.
A compromise, but a necessary one. Bueller's attitude certainly was different. He really tried to see things from my point of view. And that's just what I'm going to try with Mr. Whipple.
I'm sure we can work out something together. Let's examine the facts from your point of view.
Look, the fact is that I'm expected to pay for something I didn't use, and I'm not going to stand for it.
I can understand how you'd be annoyed. You believed you canceled in good faith.
I called. At least I told my wife to call.
Oh, your wife called.
Well, even if we slipped up, I don't see why we should have to pay for something that we didn't use.
Well, I'm afraid it's a company rule. The service was there for you.
My opinion is that your company rule is unfair. Now, can't you make some sort of exception?
Mr. Whipple, may I ask you a personal question? What business are you in?
I own a garage.
And you have rules for your customers?
Yeah, sure. Mostly about making payments.
Well, how about other things? For instance, do you take orders for repair work over the telephone?
No. No, folks usually just drive in, I look over the car, make some sort of an estimate, and if they want, why, they order the work.
They just tell you to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Oh, now, wait a minute. You're not going to excuse yourself by throwing a smokescreen up about my business.
Well, Mr. Whipple, you most certainly try to give your customers the best possible service. Therefore, you must require pretty definite instructions from them, things you can both agree on. You ask them to sign the order sheet, don't you?
Yeah, sure. It's required by law.
Well, sure it is. But as a rule, don't you find it has a lot of practical advantages for you?
Yeah, I guess so. Sure saves a lot of misunderstanding later on.
Such as the misunderstanding facing us now?
You're right. You're right. I guess I jumped the gun on him. I should have talked to my wife before I barged in.
I'm sorry we got mixed up. I hope everything's okay now.
Yeah, I admit I was wrong. Well, the only thing that bothers me is paying for something that I did.
Well, Mr. Whipple, I'll discuss the matter with my supervisors, see if they'll grant you some sort of a credit.
Oh, you think they might?
Oh, I doubt it, but I'll try.
Thanks. Well, bye, Mr. Sheridan. And I'm sorry if I caused any trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all. After all, you are our customer. We want to take good care of you.
Maybe there's a lot more to dealing with people than presenting the logic of your own viewpoint. You've got to win people over by understanding how they feel. Maybe the secret of meeting the public is to put yourself in their shoes, on their side. Do I just work here?
Hello. May I help you?
Sorry. Hope you didn't have to stay in the dark too long. Man, I love films like that. These little customer service vignettes that tried to... I have an old one called By Jupiter, which is all about courtesy and dealing with customers. And very similar type of story. Basically, this guy's dealing with this relationship. He plays it not so sympathetic to the customer. Then he goes throughout his day and is exposed to similar customer service experiences on his end, and then he becomes sympathetic, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. One's from the 60s, 50s, 40s, 70s even, 80s, But, yes, it is definitely, that is a genre of film. All right, so behind me I've got another film set up on the scanner. Let me change the title here. Setting up a workstation, which is why I was a little late. This one is called Chuckie. Anybody want to guess what this one's about? Chuckie. Enjoy.
This is the story of Lucy. She was a good girl who made her bed, put her toys away, ate all the carrots on her plate.
More carrots, Lucy?
Huh?
And helped her mama around the house. Lucy could hardly wait for their new baby to arrive.
Okay, kid. We know you're in there. Come out with your hands up.
She always said, please,
Please, please, please.
and thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
And she smiled when people said,
Oh. Ah.
Isn't she cute?
Oh, Lucy.
Huh? What?
Then, one day, Chuckie came.
Oh, isn't he cute? Oh, yes. Isn't he cute?
Yes. Isn't your baby brother, Chuckie, cute?
Oh, brother.
At first, Lucy thought that, well, if she wished hard enough, Chuckie would go away.
Happy, happy birthday, birthday, happy birthday to you.
But then she would sneak a look under the baby blanket, and Chuckie would still be there. Then she saw the nurse packing her bags.
Yahoo! Yippee! Yay! Chuckie's going back! Nice knowing you, kid. See you around. Drop by any time. So long, chum. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Sayonara. Arrivederci. Adios.
Goodbye.
Huh?
But the big nurse left.
Hey! You forgot something.
And Chuckie stayed.
What about him?
Today, boys and girls, we're going to talk about the fun of having a baby brother or sister come into your family. Won't that be fun?
For a time, Lucy pretended that Chuckie wasn't there.
I bet it's boring to have to carry a bag of potatoes all the time. It used to be so quiet before the fire engines came. Wonder who they're talking to.
Isn't he cute?
Sometimes, early in the morning, Chuckie would wake up and stare at his mobile.
Quiet, Spark! We'll wake the whole house.
He was not exactly Lucy's idea of fun.
Stupid.
But he didn't seem to notice.
Watch this, Chuckie.
Oh, brother.
How about this? Hey, Chuckie.
You dumb lump of baby.
Things were not quite the same since Chuckie had come. Lucy left her bed unmade. She left her toys all over the room. And she left all the carrots on her plate.
Delicious. It was Chuckie's idea.
She refused to help Mama around the house.
But Chuckie told me to do it.
Chuckie does not talk.
No, Chuckie does not talk.
At night, Lucy would tiptoe into Chucky's room and try to scare him. She thought that she would make him cry, but he only got hiccups from laughing so hard. Nothing Lucy did seemed to bother Chuckie. Absolutely nothing.
I think Chuckie likes you a lot. I think so, too.
How do you know? Chuckie doesn't talk.
I just know. Up you go. Time for supper, Lucy. Isn't he cute?
Oh, isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? Very good meal, Papa. Listen. He's talking.
Let's hear what his first word will be.
Oh, I'm sure it will be Mama.
But it certainly will be Papa.
Mama.
Papa.
Mama.
Papa.
No, dear. Mama.
Dear, it will be Papa.
Chuckie's
Papa.
going to say Mama. Mama.
Papa.
Mama.
Papa.
Oh, Mama.
Say Papa.
Mama. Mama. Mama.
Watch my lips. Papa.
Mama.
Papa.
Mama.
Papa.
Mama.
Papa.
What? What did he say?
Huh? What? What, Chuckie?
Lucy.
Chuckie said Lucy.
Who, me?
Lucy.
Lucy.
From then on, things were different. Lucy made her bed. She put her toys away and ate her carrots. She also helped Chuckie make his bed. She helped him put his toys away.
How do you get in there?
And best of all, she ate his carrots for him sometimes when no one was looking.
animated film featuring Sterling Holloway that's not Winnie the Pooh. That's great. This is why we watch the films. We have so many, and this is why I pull some aside and we put them on the scanner and we watch them. And I also then just scan the film. So that's what we do here at AV Geeks, and you guys are along for the ride, and I love that. Today I seem to be all upbeat and loving everything I'm showing. Even on the days that I don't do that, don't say that, I do feel that. And I do feel pretty lucky that you guys are there and are supportive, not only by hitting your thumbs up buttons and your like buttons and your subscriptions, but also just your comments and sharing what we do with other people. Those are super important ways to help us. Another way is by going to ko-fi.com/avgeeks. You can donate some coffee. Someone had given me some chocolate covered espresso beans, and those are dangerous. So I'm trying not to have any more of those. I'm trying to pawn them off onto my interns. Another way you can support us is patreon.com/avgeeks, and what that does is that helps us buy hard drives. 18 terabyte hard drives. This is what we capture to initially, or what we when we capture them, we dump them to these drives, and we go through and process them and show some of them on here, especially ones that have soundtracks. But then we also clip it up and sell it for stock footage. Those are ways that we also help support the archive. And your guys' support, again, super helpful. It's funny, like doing this show, we've been doing it since COVID. Now we're kind of post-COVID, even though COVID's still very much out there. It's been great, and I very much appreciate what we're doing with you guys. An interesting thing, so Jeremy is one of the people that comment, but he's also the one that kind of helps me maintain the list of films that we have shown. And we have shown over 180, no, that's wrong, over 4,180 films. There's some duplicates in there, and there's some stuff that didn't get listed. But the one thing that he found out is when we celebrated our 800th episode, we were actually late in celebrating that. Like, due to an error in my numbering the episodes, I actually didn't do it right. So right now we are at 886 episodes, which means that in 2.5 weeks we'll be at 900 episodes, and you guys will have been there for that. So that's pretty phenomenal. And then we'll get to 1,000. And we're just going to keep doing it because of discovering stuff like Chuckie, discovering stuff like I Just Work Here. This is why we do what we do. Not only to preserve the films, to keep the films from landfills, but also to share and get new eyeballs on stuff. It's part of our deal. So thank you so much for participating, and you can also hit the super thanks button and donate money that way. But just subscribing allows me to get this crazy YouTube plaque, which give me more than 100,000 subscribers. That basically is a way to celebrate that. I don't know what will happen what the next tier is. Like, do I get 500,000? Like, I don't know. Anyways, I appreciate that. If you have a short attention span, you need a quick fix, you can go to our TikTok, which is tiktok.com/@av.geeks. There's little short things there that someone who has been putting up little clips from films and PSAs and things like that. I can't begin to understand TikTok and how it's going to destroy our civilization, but we're along for the ride. But I'm gonna call it a little early because I got a bunch of stuff I have to do. But it was great watching films with you, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Everybody take care.